Hey yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Captain Blue. We are back with another video. So make sure that you click that subscribe button if you're interested in what the boy is cooking. So let's get it. So if you can check on the screen, we are looking at GBPCAD 4 hours time frame. You know we are doing our analysis on H4. So this is a pair that we are going to be monitoring this week. So let's get into it. So if you can see, first thing we need to do is to just look at how the market is moving. So far we can definitely see that the market is in an overall bullish trend. You understand? It's bullish, meaning we have our overall high here, right? We have our overall low here. So we can definitely see that we have our overall high, we have our overall low. The market was in a downtrend. As you can see, the market was in a downtrend. It was moving in a downtrend. You understand? And then from here, it gave us a high. This high took out this one. You understand? This high took out this one. And then from there, instead of taking out the lows, the market took out the highs, which gave us what? A change of character. You understand? And then it continued pushing to the upside, meaning we definitely started looking for buying opportunities, you understand, because we got a change of character here. This was our change of character, you understand. So let us continue with our analysis. So if you can see, or if you can check, let me just do it like this so that we can see the whole chart. So if you can check where the market gave us a high, when we look at here, we can see that we had a break of structure to the downside, right? We had a break of structure to the downside. Then from there, we had our second break of structure. The market was moving in a downtrend, right? So we have to make sure that we mark out everything. We have to make sure that we mark out all of our structures that got broken, you understand, just to indicate that there is a change in market direction. There is a market structure shift, you understand. So we have to just mark out our our break of structures, just like that. So the market was in a downtrend. It continued breaking structures to the downside, and then from here we had our last BOS exactly here, and then from there, that's where we had our low. You understand? That's where the market gave us our overall low there. So since we got a break of structure here, right, and then the market continued moving in a downtrend like this, you understand, we need to go up. We need to take our eyes up. From here, we need to look at as a demand zone, you understand. So the only demand zone that I'm interested in is this full candlestick, you understand, that bullish engulfing candlestick. Let me mark it and see if it was tested, you understand. We drag our zone to the right. So we can definitely see here that the market tested the zone, right? The market tested the zone. So let's just mark it as a supply zone, as a valid supply zone, meaning it was tested, the market mitigated that demand zone, and then from there we started seeing some movement, you understand. And then from there we can definitely see that we had these areas. You see these areas, so those were areas of liquidity, right? How do we mark an area of liquidity? we had a lot of sellers in these areas here. We had a lot of sellers in those areas, so meaning that area became an area of liquidity. How do we mark it? We can just mark it in this way, you understand? So meaning that liquidity was swept. The market swept the liquidity that was formed there, you understand? The market took out all of those positions that were resting above this area here, you understand? So let's see how the market performed after that, you understand? So after we got our last break of structure, the market gave us a low here. See this low here, and then from there, after giving us that low, the market went up. It gave us this high, and then after that high, it continued pushing to the downside. Then it broke that high, meaning that's where we got our first change of character, you understand? Our first change of character, meaning that's where the market started indicating to us that it's about to change the direction, you understand? So after we spotted our change of character, we need to look for a demand zone below here, an untested demand zone. We have a demand zone which is this bearish candlestick, the last bearish candlestick before this push to the upside, right? So we need to mark that candlestick as our untested demand zone, right? So let's just move this to here. We need to mark out that candlestick as our untested demand zone. So we have our untested demand zone there, right? We have our untested demand zone there. Let me just move this arrow, since we have noticed that we have a demand zone there. And then from here, after the market gave us that demand zone, it went up, it broke structure, then it pushed to the downside without mitigating this demand zone, you understand? Without testing this demand zone, it did what? Inducement, and then from there it pushed to the upside, just like that, you understand? And then from here, we also spotting a second demand zone here, understand? We have a second demand zone there, so we also have to mark it, you understand? We also have to mark our second demand zone, our second demand zone, right? So after that, we can definitely see that the market continued breaking structures to the upside. We got a break of structure there, meaning that demand zone is valid because there is a break of structure above it, you understand? And then second, we have our second BOS here. We have our second break of structure here, right? We also have another break of structure here, as we can definitely see that the market continued taking out highs, you understand? It was creating highs and breaking them. So we had our last BOS here. Sorry, let me just put this there because it's getting in the way. So we had our last BOS there, right? That's our last BOS. That's our last BOS. And then from there, the market mitigated the supply zone. After mitigating the supply zone, the market started pushing to the downside, right? So if we can check, the market started creating higher highs, you understand? It started creating higher highs. From there, it created new highs, meaning it was breaking structures to the upside. And then from here, we can see that the market hasn't created a new low here. It hasn't took out a low, you understand. As you can see, all of these lows, they are low, are higher lows, you understand. It's higher lows. The market hasn't taken out any low here, meaning we don't have a change of character yet, but we can definitely see that the market showed us some reaction here on the supply zone, you understand. We can definitely see that the market showed us some reaction. So if we can check below here on this uh, on this higher lows there, as you can see, we have a lot of liquidity resting below these lows, you understand. These lows, we have a lot of liquidity resting here, meaning we have a lot of buyers who bought the market in these areas, meaning that became a large pool of liquidity, you understand. We need to target those lows. So we can just mark out our area of liquidity, meaning our target, our point of interest, meaning that's the last point of liquidity, you understand. This is how we mark out our liquidity. This is our last point of liquidity, you understand. Meaning also, if you can check here, it's like here, if you can check, see here, we got that demand zone there, and then from there the market pushed, you understand. The market after this, sorry, we got this supply zone here. You see that supply zone, it was tested, the market respected that supply zone, but because of there was a lot of liquidity resting above it. You see this area, sorry, let me show you the area. You see this area here, this area here, there was a lot of liquidity resting above that area. That's why the market, it tested the supply zone, respected it, and then it started pushing to the downside, you understand. And then a lot of people took selling positions here, and then the market pushed heavy to the downside, but unfortunately the market came back, it swept that supply zone, it took out that supply zone, you understand, because of what? It was chasing the liquidity that was resting above here, you understand. It was chasing the liquidity that was resting above there, you understand. So if we can check here where the market is right now, let me just put this in order. If you can check here, we have a gap, you understand. If you can check here on 4 hours, we have a gap, you understand. That's our fair value gap. We have a fair value gap there, so we have to mark our FVG just like that, you understand. That's our FVG, stands for fair value gap. So this is what we're expecting, guys. This week, this is what we're expecting, you understand. With me, I'm expecting the market to push up, test that fair value gap, and then from there we continue pushing to the downside. We might see some reaction on this demand zone. Let me just drag it. We might see a reaction here and then start seeing the market pushing to the upside, right? But with me, I'm going to be targeting the extreme demand zone, which is this one here. This is where I'm expecting to take my profit, you understand. I'm targeting that extreme demand zone, you understand. I'm targeting that extreme demand zone. So I'll be taking my trade somewhere there, and then I'll be targeting the extreme demand zone. So once it takes out that liquidity, once it gets to this point here, I'll be taking my partials, you understand. Once it gets here, I take partials, I break even, and then continue holding until the market reaches this point that I'm targeting, because this is my point of interest, you understand? So this is what we are looking at this week on GBPCAD, you understand? So make sure that you monitor the setup. Make sure that you keep your eyes on that setup, you understand? It's the only setup that we're going to be looking at. It's also going to be shared on our VIP group, you understand, on our Telegram channel. It's going to be shared there. So make sure that you click that subscribe button if you are interested in what the boy is cooking, and also like, subscribe, and share so that you can get more of our analysis, you understand, more of our content. You will be updated whenever we post on our YouTube channel, you understand? So let's see each other on the next video.